What is good, YouTube? Quinway basketball analysis, camouflaging myself as a hooper, which I am not. I am an analyst, and I'm coming to you with a quick video. We're going to talk about Bradley Beal, the All NBA player, All Star last year, another 30-point season, has another different team around him for the third straight season, and now they have to figure some things out under a new coach too, and we're really going to see what they're going to do this year. So this team is going to be interesting. This team should be a lot of fun to watch. Hopefully, their defense is a lot better. But let's talk about Denny. I didn't like Denny coming into the draft because I feel like he'd be a solid role player. And that's what he has shown so far in his career. A guy that's not a great shooter, not a great spacer, but does a lot of smart things on the court, especially if you put the right lineup and talent around him. Not a guy you can give the ball to and ask him to do things. He can make quick decisions, and that's really about it. If he's not going to be a great defender, great rebounder, great passer, great scorer, it's really hard to see what his role is going to be in the NBA. Maybe they find something better for him with a new coach and a new team. Maybe he can do more since he's going to be off injury and now he gets a new opportunity. But Denny has looked like a solid role player. That's why I didn't want him to go that high in the draft. And that's what he has shown us so far in his career. Davis Bertons, I didn't like his extension just because he didn't really do enough but shoot a bunch of threes. Threes do get you paid, but Davis Bertans do give you 14 double-digit points a game. So you will live with that, but 16 million is still a little bit too high if you're going to pay him to come off the bench, especially when he's not playing a huge amount of minutes. You're not relying on him that much compared to that season. So it's just going to be interesting to see what Davis Bertans is and what he's going to do for this team. Will they use him in the starting lineup? Will they use him off the bench? Will he get more shots, coming? It's going to be interesting to what they do in general. Is he going to stay on his roster? That's something that they're going to figure out this season is the future of Davis Bertans because he hasn't really lived up to that contract to me so far, and that's something that's going to be on the watch. Thomas Bryant went down with an injury, was a big body that can give them some type of spacing at that center position, but we just don't know if he's going to have that same mobility. We just don't know if he's going to have that same type of impact because he's going to be a little rusty. Plus, he's going to be under minute restrictions, and then he's going to have to play himself back into shape and form. So I don't really see a big season for Thomas Bryant or a huge significant role for him this season. Maybe the next one. Kentavious Caldwell Pope has been a solid player in the league, giving you streaky but spacing, shooting, and he just gives them another guy that can come in and make shots. That's usually what he does in his career, and I can see him doing that also on this team. They might need him to do a little more because of how the team plays and how they go up and down, and they like to get up a lot of shots. Maybe that suits him better. Maybe he can get a little bit more consistent because he's getting more shots and being more in rhythm. That's something that we'll have to determine based off of when we see them play. Spencer Dinwiddie, I don't really expect anything huge from him just because he's coming off an ACL injury. Plus, he relies a lot on first step and getting to the basket. Plus, he's also haven't been a great shooter. He's a guy that can make shots and take shots, even the tough ones. But he's going to be a little ground bound coming back. And he's also going to have to get his feel and touch back. And that could take a couple games or a couple months to do. So I'm not really expecting a huge season for Spencer Dinwiddie this year. But we basing off his entire contract with the Wizards, and that's multiple years. So this is going to be a get the dust and rust off year, and then you can really see him do more next year. Daniel Gafford was a guy that was a laughing stock in Chicago, came into Washington and became a better fit because he just did what they needed him. Protected him a little bit, rebound, finish, and hit some shots. Daniel Gafford can still do that this year. And he's going to be asked to do a little bit more because he had a better role last year. He got a better fit. And now they need him to produce at that level more consistently. He won't be the surprise that people have felt. Westbrook did help him by finding him a lot and making a lot of shots easier. But they do have other guys that can create shots and create shots for others. So he should have a similar, if not a little worse season. But you just need him to be effort and just go out there and try and just make the right decisions and plays. And if he's able to do that, he should have a solid season. Anthony Gill, I don't see him having a huge role or, time on this team. Just going to be a rotation power forward that's going to give them spot minutes whenever they need it. and that's all I really see from him. Jordan Goodwin, we don't know if he's going to make the roster or stay on it, but even if he does, he's not going to get significant playing time on his team. Rui, I like he continued to improve. They moved him to a stretch four. His shooting still has to come. He has games where he looks like he can be the perfect role player because he can rebound, he can hit mid range, he can hit threes, and he is a guy that can play with confidence and he can create shots a little bit off the dribble, but never really showed consistency creating off the dribble. Never showed consistency shooting the three ball, but that's something that we can see hopefully this year. As to me, he has got more confident, has got a little bit more brave with the shots, and they have allowed him to do it and allowed him to play that role. We want to see Rui get into that 18, 19, 20-point range. Maybe this is the season where he does it. Montrezl Harrell is an effort guy. He's going to go out there, grab rebounds, finish around the rim. Not known as a great defender, not really known as a greatest player, but they're not asking him to do nothing crazy. Just to come in and do what you do best. And that's what he's going to do for this team off the bench. And he's going to succeed in that role because he has done it throughout his career, and I don't really see that changing. Aaron Holiday, I like him. He's a solid point guard that can run the offense. He also can play in the pick and roll. He can hit some threes, hit some mid range, hit some floaters, and get to the basket. Not a guy that you're going to rely on heavy minute wise, but a guy that can produce when he's out there. And that's all you really need in somebody that's going to be a rotation player. J Huff, not going to get a lot of playing time or minutes. Just going to be a big body that's going to play a specific role in spot minutes. Corey Crispert just gives them another shooter that can hit threes, give them spacing, get a guy that they got to respect and pay attention to. That's something that they really lacked on this team last year, and that's something that he does give them. And he's a solid defender. We'll see how that translates at the NBA level against the best scorers and the best creators, because he is going to be playing those positions. And we'll see if he's able to hold his own. But the shooting, I don't really question. It's just about, can he be efficient? Can he be effective? That's something he's just going to have to prove at the NBA level. Kyle Kuzma, he's a bucket getter. He's a guy that he's going to come in, give you a stretch four, give you a switchable guy, and give you a guy that's going to make shots and try to be aggressive. They need more ways to score. They need more guys that can put the ball in the basket. That's something that they really lacked last year, and that's something that they have a lot more this year. And that's going to make them a lot tougher to defend and a lot more unpredictable offensively. And I think Kyle Kuzma can help them with that. Neto and Isaiah Todd, we'll see if they remain on the roster and they stay. But Raul Neto was a solid point guard that just gave them a guy that can make the right play, make the right decision, hit open shots. And that's all they needed him to do last year. And that's something I believe that he's going to continue to do in that role. Isaiah Todd, we really don't know if he's going to get a lot of minutes, a lot of playing time, or he's going to really be a significant impact player on his team. Same with Cassius Winston. He's on the roster. He might play, but he's not going to be a huge, significant player on his team. And then to wrap it up, we're going to talk about Bradley Beal. This guy has continued to improve. He has continued to get better. I still call him out for the defense because he gets a lot of buckets, but he gives a lot up, at the same time. And this is a year for his leadership. Can he lead this team? Can he demand them to be great? Can he push them? Can he give them inspiration? Can he motivate them to play throughout the whole 48 minutes? Because now he doesn't have another all-star alongside him. He doesn't have another person to be that vocal leader outside of him. This is the year where he got to galvanize the troops. This is the year that he got to put things together. This is the year he's going to have to take over. This is the year he's going to have to rely on people. This is the year that he's going to have to build up his teammates, as this is his team. This is his organization. This is his moment to really shine. And he has become one of the best scorers in the league. He has become one of the best players in the league. And now it's just time for him to continue to build upon his three-point shooting, his playmaking and scoring, and most important, his defense, and challenge other players to get better, challenge other players to do more, challenge other players to step up, not just yourself. But that's going to be the mental thing, pushing himself, pushing his teammates, and just getting the best out of this team that he has. This isn't the best team. This isn't the greatest team. This isn't a lock for a playoff team spot. But they will be competitive. They will give team problems, and they could be tough matchups, especially if they go small. And they got the mobility. They have the athleticism. They got a lot of guys that can beat you off the dribble and get a shot. And that's something that they lacked last year. That's something that they have this year. Just a lot more versatility and a lot more guys that can do damage to you. So it's going to allow them to play fast. It's going to allow them to break down defenses. And it's going to allow them to get shots that will be more easier and a lot more often. Last year, they worked for a lot. They did a lot to get a bucket. and they had to run a lot to get easy buckets. This year they got more creators, they got a little bit more spacing, and they got a lot of people that isn't afraid to score or get to the basket or make a shot. And that's something that they didn't have last year a lot of, and that's something that they really fixed this year. But the question will people buy in? Will this be a team that really cares throughout the entire season? Will this be a team that you really want to get up for every single game? That's what their mentalities might be. Just because I don't see this team as a championship team. I don't see this team as a lot, like I said, for the playoffs. And it's just going to be interesting. Is they going to stay motivated? Is they going to stay hungry? And is they going to stay challenging themselves to get to a playoff spot and at least try to fight for that? I feel like last year they gave up, they quit, they pushed themselves, they wanted it, but it wasn't consistent throughout the entire year. Maybe all these guys got a chip on their shoulder. Maybe they all want to prove something. Maybe they all want a contract, or maybe they just want to show what they really can be and just use this platform to be able to do it. And if they do that, this team can be dangerous. If they just give up throughout the season, or they just feel like, you know what, somebody got injured, we don't really want to play tonight, or we might not win this game, that's where Bradley Beal and the coach got to step in and give them that extra push, give them that extra motivation to let them know if we want to reach our goals, we got to have this mentality each and every game, each and time we play on the court throughout the entire game. I didn't see that all last season. That's something that they're definitely going to have to change if they want to be something dangerous in the future. They missing a couple pieces. They missing a couple, spots on his roster when it comes to defense, when it comes to elite scoring, but they have a lot of versatility. They have a lot of guys that can make things happen. And that's something that they didn't have. This is a different look. This is a different team. This is a different coaching. And a lot of this stuff we just going to have to see as the season play out. And a lot of this stuff we just going to have to see what they are and what they aren't and what they missing. A lot of it's more obvious on roster, but we really won't see how it all fits and how it all put together until we see it on the court. So this team is going to be interesting. This team is going to be a team that we really have to see the entire season to really gauge what they need to do, what they need to fix, who they need to get, and then that will also depend on if Bradley Beal wants to stay. A lot of people say he wants to be traded. He continues to say he wants to stay, but this is his team, this is his franchise, and he's already eligible for the Supermax when his contract is up. Then it's about the GM doing their job and putting the right talent around them to try to build something special in his direction. We know he's great. We know what he can do. Now it's time for him to be the leader. Now it's time for him to be the mentor. Now it's time for him to be the motivator and also lead by example on the court. And that's something that we're going to have to see more of now, because this is your franchise. This is your team. And I'm not questioning if you can lead it. I'm not questioning if you can get it done. It just, you want to build those characteristics now. So when you get that talent in the future, you're ready to go and win when that opportunity comes. It's not going to be this year. It could be year 3. Could be year 4. Could be the last year. We don't really know. But if he sticks it out and ride it out, that'll be something that he can always brag about. That's something that he can always say, just like the last 2 seasons. Now we're going to see what he brings to the table and what he does this year. I'm rooting for y'all. I support y'all. I love what y'all doing. And I love the fact that y'all shaped it up and went in a different direction. But I also like the fact that Bradley Beal is saying, I love playing here. I love being here. And also, I want to see the long-term view. We'll see what happens in the future with this team and this organization. But right now, it is a team that we're going to keep an eye out on because they have a lot of interesting pieces and players. And we just want to see what Bradley Beal going to do with a new role in a new situation and see how he plays throughout the entire season to get this team winning and hopefully in the playoffs. So what I expect is to be in the play-in conversation. If they make it, first round exit, but that's only year 1 of this Bradley Beal experience. We'll see what happens in the future if he decides to stay and sign the extension. Other than that, Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis signing out. See y'all tomorrow.